All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. It's the brothers here from Great Millstone, Atlanta. We want to do a lesson pertaining to the fall of the rich and the rise of the poor. And the poor that's rising is particularly the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. All right, the ones that's establishing the truth of the elect of the elect, because even though, the Israelites, are known as the elect, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're God's chosen people. All of them aren't going to make it on the side. The ones that actually, in the midst of their poverty have been stand down, preaching the words of Yahweh Shema Shah, lifting up the banner, building the nation, as it is written in Zephaniah, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. The ones that's not desired are the poor, the ones that's impoverished, the ones that live in the ghettos, the what they call the barrios, the slums, the jacks. We're the ones that's not desired, but we're the outcasts of the society. But the same ones that, as it is written also in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, the same ones that have been scoffed at and looked at as the offscouring on the planet Earth, those are the ones that's going to receive deliverance, and they're going to be the rulers of the next said kingdom. And the ones that we're looking at in today's time as greats or the noble ones or celebrities, the individuals they call the big wigs or the ones that's on the high horse, these multi-billionaires, they're going to go back to their regular, the position in the lot that they were assigned to, as being peasants and really the true low class, man. Because these super rich, individuals that most people look up, man, these individuals are the foulest people that walk the face of the earth, man. It's already been spoken out about Pizzagate, all these different P rings, try to be censored for YouTube. These pedo rings, where these different individuals will take these children and then they'll fly them out over to Thailand to do some trafficking, and then they'll have all these different parameters, and I've watched documentaries on it. They'll have parameters and they'll have women that don't even speak the language, and they'll make it like a damn city, super city, and they'll make it where certain individuals, women as well as children, they get injected on all kind of drugs, and they make it where it's inaccessible to escape. And a lot of these top mayors, a lot of these politicians, they all are in cahoots. They finance it, like Epstein Island, man. There was so much information that was brought out about Epstein, man. So we're gonna get into the scriptures, because the scriptures speak about the fall of the wealthy, the super rich. All right, when big societies collapse, the ones that are the primary investors are the ones that actually, are the roof of the system. They fall with it. So we're gonna jump straight into it. Oh, you had something?
James.
Yeah, you can get that, James.
This is James chapter 5, verse 1. It says, "Go to now, ye rich man, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you." And like the brother's going into, a part of those miseries that's going to come upon the rich is the losing of their kingdom and their wealth. Because in order to be rich, and we ain't talking about you Jay-Z's and J. Cole's or whatever,
Kanye West,
and you Kanye West, because you're not rich. This is talking about the elites, man. Them high up men who you barely hear about, man. But
the ones that be having they had the video with Meek Mill, the ones that have those guys, basically fetching the stick. Because we'll see they put these individuals in our faces, these Kim Kardashians, these individuals that hit $1 billion. Rihanna just hit $1 billion recently, and yeah, she has a bag, so to speak, but she doesn't have true power. It's not always about just digits in a bank account, man.
Yeah.
Digits can only get you so far in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could buy $1 million cars. You could buy multi-million-dollar properties. You can invest in certain football teams and in basketball
Mm-hmm.
teams. You know, you can get certain land, pieces of land, acres of land, but you're not really moving and shaking nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not passing policy. You don't rule over the monetary system that's
Right.
actually printing the money. You don't have massive control of the people. Hey, like right now with the vid, you see these multi-millionaire NFL players, they're getting fired like niggas, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like a 9 to 5 Negro in front of the whole world.
Yeah,
And
showing you they don't have no power.
they don't have no power because it's a system. You got it.
Verse 2, your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days.
And it said, where it speaks about riches being corrupted. Yeah, these riches were illy gotten.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Not only was it gotten wickedly, but the current money that we all have in circulation is known as fiat currency.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you look at the history of the Federal Reserve note, and we've been, to the you've been there, right, to the Federal Reserve building in Atlanta.
I've never been.
But a few of us brothers been, the Elder Manatazak, I remember when he came down a few years ago, we went to the Federal Reserve building, man. And they got the whole history of how money operates. We, study the dynamics of the money. All right. The scriptures speak about, even in Genesis, how Abraham was rich in gold, silver, and cattle. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Assets, true hard assets, soft assets, really true resources. But in today's time now, we're circulating worthless currency backed by nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a strong history on that. When you go into the American presidency, if I'm not mistaken, you had the Gold Confiscation Act. You had basically I think it was FDR. It was your president started to pull out the really the backbone, which is gold and silver, out of the markets, and they made it where the money that's currently in circulation to just be printed out off of nothing, man. So that's part of the gold and silver being cankered, and we've witnessed that already in ancient history with ancient Rome, man.
And that's why we always mention that, and once people lose, that hope and faith in the U.S. dollar, then it's over, because it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold and silver like the brother's going into, man. It's just the faith that the people have in the dollar. But as we see, it's countries that's going away from the dollar, such as China. Who else? Japan.
I think I just seen one of these South American countries. They're gonna make crypto their national currency.
Yeah.
And you just brought out a beautiful point about the belief, because that's what the word fiat means. It goes back to the Latin, which I think means to trust. So when people start to lose their trust in this currency, which a lot of people are, they're seeing that their money only gets them so far. That's when this system starts to bottom out, and the witchcraft, which it tells you that in Isaiah the 47th chapter, the sorceries that these international bankers and these leaders of the society have been putting out, people are going to start waking up to it, and then they're going to fight against it. You some more on that?
Yeah, some more. This is verse 4. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
Yeah, so that's the Lord of Armies. If you want to go into it too, I want to get a precept to back that.
Because it said, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, man. You see, so the Lord hears, the cries of them, who's calling unto him, man. Because, our enemy, is doing us wrong, man. They're taking, but which is all a part of the curses, because we had to go to them for the one of all things. We work, more than we receive pay. you know, which the scriptures go into, you're supposed to receive your money at the end of every day, man. You know, you get paid every 2 weeks. Sometimes some people once a month.
Yeah.
You know,
Week in a whole.
mm-hmm.
You know, and then what you're getting paid is not even enough to really sustain the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're doing that deliberately because they never wanted really citizens to hold true power. You know, think about the game of Monopoly. The concept of Monopoly is to buy out as much property for as many pieces to land, you know, people to land on your residences, so to speak, your properties, you know. And when somebody gets locked up and go to jail, you be like, oh shit, yeah, he got in jail, you know, that gave me the advantage. You know, we got to do all the stuff. I think you got to go through the bills, bondsman, and the whole shit, you know, the whole shebang. But the concept of Monopoly is to conquer as many pieces of the board as possible, and you don't want your pieces to be bought out. All right,
Which is property.
Yeah. And it's the same thing now, because we can't beat this devil by trying to buy out his housing market. We can't beat him by trying to you know, invest in his real estate. We can't beat him that way because it's monopoly. He's created the monopoly board.
Right.
You know, and he's a master manipulator. He knows how to manipulate things to the point. Look at the housing market. It's finished. You know, they're making it where it's inaccessible to actually even come up into society, which is going to keep us perpetually poor. But we have the power truly in this book, and this is what's going to topple this economy. Right. And I got a precept to go into where it speaks about the labor.
Oh yeah, God.
You know, this is Job 20:22. And the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Right, and when you look up that word wicked in the Hebrew, it goes into laborers. It's not talking about the actual wicked. Apostle Hogg, you know, went into that many times, man. You know, you'll read it and you think it's actually talking about the wicked coming. No, it's talking about us. Hey, because we're the nightmare of Esau. We're looked at like unto him as the wicked, and we're looked at, and he's looked at. You know, he looks at himself as the righteous, and he looks at us like the wicked, and we look at ourselves like the righteous, and we look at him like the wicked. You know, these different rich men that put all their money into the system to elongate life through left-hand side sorcery, you know, machinery, you know, like how they say, what's the modern term when they merging man with machine?
Industrialization.
No, well, actually putting
AI.
Yeah, AI technology. You know, they look at that as a righteous thing. You know, actually like Neuralink tapping into your brain and making somebody that's a quadriplegic or somebody that's paralyzed from the waist down or whatnot, you know, actually reactivate their nerves. They look at that as something that's God sent, but we look at that as a blessing from Satan. You know, so when it speaks about the hand of the wicked coming upon them, that shows we're getting our power back. We're getting the hand back. The hand represents power. The power of the poor. The poor holds power. But see, Esau has perverted and tricked us to the point where he made it where we didn't even see our true power.
You know, that crafty counsel.
That crafty counsel. You have something you want to bring out too?
Yeah, I had the story of Lazarus.
Oh yeah, you can bring that out.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 16. I'll start at verse 19. It says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day. And there was, because even, you know, and I know this brother can expound on it more than I can, but, you know, even when you go into, you know, the color purple, is a royal color, you know. But that's why the scripture made mention, you know, that he was clothed in purple and fine linen, you know.
Top dog, you know, fine linen.
Yeah. It's verse 20, and it says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores.
That's us. You know, the parable of Lazarus and the rich man represents the righteous being poor and the wicked being filthy rich. You know, Keep going.
It says, verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table.
Mm-hmm.
Moreover,
Hey, and even the crumbs of a rich man to a poor man seems like, damn, that's a lot.
mm-hmm,
You gotta think if crumbs came from a portion of Jeff Bezos' money, that can make a poor man filthy rich.
mm-hmm,
You $100,000 to Jeff Bezos, they'll actually do charts. Like they'll have rice. I seen somebody do like a rice simulation, so to speak.
oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they did all of Jeff Bezos's and Elon Musk, these guys' riches, and bags of rice. And one every piece of rice will be like $10,000, $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
So dealing with basically the crumbs, a crumb to a rich man, $100,000 to a rich man is a crumb.
It's a crumb.
You see?
Oh, even they did a thing like a calculation saying if what's the guy who's the head of Amazon? Is that
That's Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. I just wanted to make sure I was right. But they said that if he were to give $1 million to everybody, like, I believe it was in America, that he would still have money left over and be well off. Man.
Oh, hey, be filthy.
You know?
Still be filthy rich.
Still be filthy rich, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but and imagine, how wealthy, or if you're in the right state of mind, you get $1 million, you can do some things with it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Not just blow it.
Mm-hmm.
But it says, verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table, moreover the dogs came and licked his sores.
Yeah, the dogs represents the other nations.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs licking the sores represents adding to the affliction. Because not only are we afflicted, but we have the other nations pursuing the Lamentation, the first chapter, that exploit us also.
Mm-hmm.
You'll go to these damn gas stations, and you'll get something for $3. They add an extra 75 cents because they'll say it's a $5 minimum fee.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell does that even mean?
Yeah.
And more than likely, it's some governments created witchcraft shit
Mm-hmm.
to the point where they have these different machinery that only accepts $5.
Mm-hmm.
But they know that these different areas is for the people that's poor that they know. Esau deals with numbers. They know the average person that goes in the gas station might spend $3.75,
Mm-hmm.
$2.50 for a cigarello.
Mm-hmm.
$4.35 for a box of Newports. I don't know how much they cost. Just giving numbers, So they'll mark up prices, knowing that you already don't have enough, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of it, man.
Okay.
These scriptures are real. It's just through the spirit and power of the Lord, you have to read them and put them into real time to understand them.
Yeah.
You got it.
It says, verse 22, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by angels into Abraham's bosom.
Mm.
The rich man also died and was buried.
Mm-hmm.
And in hell he lifted up his eyes, being in torments, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
Yeah, and that's talking about the rich man being brought to a lower state, and the poor man actually being in an elevated position. Abraham's bosom.
Mm-hmm.
You have certain Christians and Catholics try to make it seem like it's a specific place in the spirit world. No, it's all parabolic talk, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a parable.
Yep. In today's time, they say rags to riches, riches to rags.
Mm-hmm.
You had that movie with that Eddie Murphy, with the bet where you had the rich man. It was basically the elites, and they placed the bet on the rich man. And I think the bet was a damn fucking dollar or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But they took all the riches from the rich man and they gave all the riches to Eddie Murphy. It came back, back in the day. But that's a prime example, of how it's gonna be. All the riches that these devils have, their stocks, their not the raw assets. Everything that they have, their gold, the riches, the diamonds, the silver, the jade, the jasper.
Because that was their
saffron.
blessing.
That's their blessing.
They was blessed with the fatness of the earth.
The fatness of that's it. To sum it all up, the fatness of the earth is gonna be literally stripped from them and given to the poor. Isn't that a beautiful story?
Okay.
You got it.
And it says, and So like in verse 24, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me and send Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame.
And what's that talking about? Just getting a slight portion of relief. All right, because if you're in hell, if you're in the fire, a little dip of water is just enough, just to be relieved. Just saying, just please have some type of mercy for me to actually get something out of this hell that I'm receiving. Some more?
Okay. It says, but Abraham said, Son, remember that thou in thy lifetime received thy goods, and likewise Lazarus evil things. But now he is comforted, and thou art tormented.
Yeah, you see?
That Rover verse, that's where you get the book of Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. In the 7th, I believe that's 30 and 7, where it speaks about basically the curses being reversed, man.
Curses being reversed. And it's really being turned back where it needs to be.
Yeah.
See? Some more?
Some more. It says, and beside all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed. It says, so that they which pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that will come from thence. Then he said, I pray thee, therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, as they also come into this place of torment. And Abraham saith unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. And he said, Nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. That was it.
Yeah, and that was really the main point of it, So the times that we living in, you'll see we're seeing the actual rise of the actual poor, man. And then one good point that was brought out, where it speaks about how the rich man received benefits in his life, and the poor man received evil things, man.
Yeah.
So these devils, they'll reward us evil, even though they have the power to actually relieve us, man. This whole thing with this jab, and these people getting sick, you don't think Esau really has the power to really take care of people, nurture them, actually establish hospitals free, and actually give people food and nutritional benefits, stop, destroying the planet Earth, how they're destroying it, And really, to be honest, they don't even have the power truly to reverse it because they're the wicked, and it's a system. It's just like when you see a flow of fish, you'll see the waves, and then you'll see all these different fish actually pouring down the bank. A fish can't turn back. You think one of these rich men actually, can push against the new world order and turn things back to normal? They'll clap him. They'll clap him and keep things pushing forward because it's a system. Everybody is pushing their energy towards the next wave.
That's right.
What's going to be the next generation of smart technology? What's going to be the next generation of economic upgrades? What's going to be the next generation to keep these people's heads, under the thumb of us? They're all pushing in this rat race of control, but it's going to come to an abrupt stop. All right, the Lord said that. We just read it before. The fullness of His sufficiency. He's trying to get Himself to a point where He doesn't even need the poor anymore. Where everything is operating off of machine technology, and that's where the Lord is going to cut things off.
Yeah.
I got a precept.
Okay.
Amos 9 and 13. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. Yeah, so it said that the plowman will overtake the reaper. A man that's a plowman, that's somebody that's basically a peasant. A worker. So for you to take the reaper, the one that is a reaper, he reaps
the benefit.
He reaps the benefits. All right? But that man that's plowing is going to have the power to actually, use that weapon against the man that actually is just sitting on a high horse.
Mm-hmm.
You have the saying, "It's no fun when the rabbit gets the gun."
Mm-hmm.
That's it. We're the ones that's being preyed on.
Yeah.
But the Lord's gonna actually give us the power, the hand of might, and that's talking about the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel:
Mm-hmm.
Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Issachar, Naphtali,
Mm-hmm.
Ephraim, Manasseh.
Yeah.
You know,
Zebulon.
Issachar, Zebulun.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say Asher?
Asher.
You know,
Yeah. All the 12 tribes.
all the
man.
12 tribes.
You know, even those of you who gonna be, destroyed on this side, because in the kingdom, and you'll receive, you'll be in your right state of mind. You'll still be, wealthy, man.
Mhm.
Not wealthy because of how we going into wealth isn't just having a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You have land, cattle,
Generational.
generational wealth, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And your son won't be a fool, like
Right.
it's tell you in the book of Ecclesiastes. Solomon, when he amassed all those riches, he was like, man, it's all vain at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said, what would I basically, if I were to actually die and my son be a fool?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you accumulated millions of dollars, you might have a degenerate son that's going to take everything that you built up. So it just added really up to one generation of wealth.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these devils got it where they'll have degenerate sons. You think about the Walmart families, and you think about these families that have a last name in these companies. They have degenerate children. Don't get it wrong. That blow money, sniff cocaine.
Yeah.
But one thing about their wealth is it's in the system. They can't spend out more than they're getting in.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes to Walmart. Name a nigga that don't go to Walmart, man.
Right.
But you might have a degenerate son that's just spending money. He's spending money, putting it in the pockets of individuals that's gonna put it right back in Walmart.
Yeah.
You see? That's power.
That's power.
So even in the kingdom of heaven, we're gonna have power. We're gonna have buying power.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have spending power.
Yeah. That's where you get, Isaiah the 60th chapter
Mm-hmm.
about how all the nations gonna flow into Israel.
They're gonna
Man.
flow into Israel.
Meaning, the everything, all the resources, the oil, the what else? All the resources, man, is gonna flow to the land of Israel, man.
Flow to the land of milk and honey.
The milk and honey.
Yeah, I got a precept. We close in a second. Too.
All right, time.
It's Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness
Mm-hmm.
before the face of such as have afflicted him.
And that's what we're doing. That's going into the prophets, man. The prophets of the Lord, man. We're standing with great boldness in front of the face of him that afflicted us, saying that, hey, man, your kingdom is falling, man. Your gold and silver is corrupted. Like we went into.
Mm-hmm.
Your kingdom is on the fall, man.
Mm-hmm.
And like how in the book of Sirach, the 10th chapter, it says what? That the Lord is going to set up one that's profitable, man.
Mm-hmm.
You got it.
Beautiful. All right. And made no account of his labors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, our labors ain't really accounted for. That's why they keep jumping up the retirement age. They don't want you to retire.
Mm-hmm.
When you work these jobs, these jobs don't give a mother F about you, man. And it'd be sad sometimes. You'll see our fathers and our fathers and shit still working these run-of-the-mill jobs, these conventional ass jobs, and a lot of them don't even get pay raises or get into a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
They make sure, and we all work these jobs, man. You'll work these jobs and you'll see a devil that didn't even really work for it over you.
Yeah.
You have you'll work these jobs and you'll see a man that's been in that job particularly, 20, 25, 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He got all the niches down. He know
Yeah.
everything that comes with the job. He might not know about the whole management side because he hasn't been taught in that realm, and they won't teach him that. But when it comes down to the rawness of the business, he got it.
Yeah.
Nobody's messing with him. And they might put him at $22, $23 an hour, And they show that they greatly appreciate him, but they will never upgrade him to get to actually put a suit on.
Mhm.
You know, they make sure he has that dirty ass hard hat on.
Yeah.
You know, and they make sure that he just grinding out. That's part of the ones that's not making account for his labor. And then he might get a $1,100 bonus Christmas time.
Yeah, that goes back to them crumbs, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's the crumbs.
Mhm.
But they done made a killing. They done made quadruple the amount of money.
Yeah.
This man
In a day.
In a day. All right.
These are $1 billion companies.
Oh hell yeah.
You know. These are $1 billion companies, and here it is, you making $30,000 to $40,000 in a year, man.
And $30,000 to $40,000 ain't no money.
That ain't shit.
That ain't shit.
That's crumbs, man.
It's crumbs. And then they'll put it in your face. Well, we gave you all a 25-cent raise.
Right.
You know, we feed y'all every every Thanksgiving. Like nigga, that's a right. Prisons do the same shit. Prisoners eat Thanksgiving food. You know what I mean? That's just how they keep you manipulated and they keep you down. Cause I heard these things in these speeches. I'm not even just making random talk.
Yeah.
I've heard these things, man.
Yeah.
We're giving you raises. We feed y'all. That's a write-off. That's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
And you should the amount of money you made.
You should feed us every fucking day.
We should feed our asses every day and pay us every day.
Yeah.
You know? Let me keep going. It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for.
Mm-hmm.
And they repenting, that's the rich man.
The rich man. Yeah.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, that's that drop of that water, shall say within themselves, this was he. That's the one that's gonna be. Hey, like in the chariots, that represents even Abraham's bosom too, like through the spirit. You know, us in that high position, because the bosom is the inner parts where you're protected. You know, it says, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision, and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness, and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God? And his lot is among the saints. Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shone upon us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. Yeah, so they're gonna actually get a clear idea that everything that they've been doing, they were the what's the word? Antagonists. In this story, in this play, they weren't the protagonists. They were the ones that was designed to antagonize us, to provoke us, to make us feel bad, make us feel like we're poor, like we're less than. Because we do.
Yeah.
We do. That's just the reality of it. You know, sometimes you feel insignificant. In this world, hey, we are insignificant.
Yeah.
We not really no fucking. We ain't building to this economy.
Right.
If we die tomorrow, this world is not going to miss us, man.
Nope.
We get a post. We get a few people at our funerals, a few RRPs, and a week later, it's on to the next.
Yeah.
You know? But these same individuals that are looked down upon, are most hated, those are going to be the ones that's going to rule the next kingdom, man.
Yeah.
And they're going to rule it right. You know? You had something?
I had the Daniel 8.
Okay, yeah. Bring up.
It's Daniel 8:25. It's saying that through his policy, also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. You know, so Esau has you know, through his policy, you know, he's prospered, man. You know, that crafty counsel, you know, that's where you get Psalms, you know, the 83rd chapter, man. You know, which was a part of that crafty counsel was devaluing, you know, the Israelite man. You know,
Part of them devaluing what was destroying our women. You know, basically putting our gridlocking our women in the system. You know, our children.
Yeah.
Shit, us.
Us.
They bury the Israelite man in the society, man. And then they'll make it where you can't really get out. Well, you can't.
You can't subject to payment.
You subject to payments. Look at a man that's in prison. He's dead. He's buried alive.
Yeah, he's just a number.
He's just a number. And nobody's, like I said, nobody pleads the cause of the poor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you go to these, you know, you got to do all these protests and you got to do all this extra shit in order to get your name heard.
Mm-hmm.
They just came out with this this point on what's this guy? I put him in the group. You more so know because you in the sports, but it's a soccer coach, not soccer, a gymnastic coach. He had touched like 100 and
his last name is Nasser.
yeah, like George Nasser, something like that. I forget his name. Nasser. He had touched like over 100 women, and the youngest was
Simone Biles.
yeah, he touched Simone Biles. The youngest woman was like the age of 8, and in the conference, these women were like, "Look, man, we've been complaining about this shit."
Mm-hmm.
They was like, "We've been going to the FBI. You know, the FBI ain't been doing shit. You know, which is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They wasn't investigating a damn thing, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, corruption." And then they was asking them. This is what they said. He said, Do y'all still trust the system? Like, is it something that you could get past where you could trust it? These women like, look, we don't trust the system. We don't trust nothing about it. Mm-hmm. They was like, because we've tried. We, basically bust our ass getting abused by this man. And you think when after 15 women, an investigation will start. 20,
right.
25, 35. You know, it got to the point of 100. And then they were like, oh, shit, yeah, he's going a little overboard. Let's crack down on him.
Yeah.
But that's the wickedness of the system, man. And that's why we need a new, the scripture speak about a new heaven and a new earth,
yeah.
Wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Mm-hmm.
But you had
that was it on it.
Yeah, so, hopefully brothers was edified. We just wanted to do a lesson, on just the poor rising up, and the fall of the rich. So hopefully brothers were edified. We're going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash.
Double honor to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Maki.
Shalom.